Alright guys, we're out here in the garage. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there first thing. This water pump is going to be kind of annoying, so if you're wearing earbuds, turn it down. We're about to weld this saddle-on tube joint just for nothing more than just to do it. Kind of getting the shed lined out. Got this new little, this little bin thing that holds on my nuts and bolts, and been putting nails and screws and stuff up here. Of course, we got all the fishing poles. I may have a slight addiction. And then stuff for welders from wall to wall. Every wall has something to do with welding on it. Anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set you up in this little stand. Let me knock this little joint out with the sand Rex. Let's see, zoom in a little bit so you guys can get on that joint right there. See if I can level you guys out a little bit. Back that a little bit. Right there. Before we go dark, I'm going to give you guys some of my tips. I'm not going to be welding with any long sleeves on or nothing. You should. I'm not saying don't do that. But I am going to say this, but try it at your own risk. If you burn yourself, you'll learn quickly not to. Especially when you're running a scratch start or lift start or however you want to call it. When you come up and you're feeding wire, you'll do this a time or two. Like I said, you'll learn. These cotton gloves, they don't transfer heat like leather does. Leather will actually build heat up in the glove. They'll get hot. And I'm not saying for every application wear cotton gloves. I'm saying for TIG work only, cotton gloves are my favorite. And I'm not saying that the TIG finger doesn't have a place either. I'm just saying that for most stuff, this I think you can get like 10 pairs of these brown jerseys for like $3 or $4 at Atwood's Tractor Supply. Now these blue gloves, they're about $1.50, $1 something. Let's see if it's got a price tag on it. $1.89 a pair. They're Brahma, but they're thicker than the jerseys are, and so they're worth it. And I always put this pair on over a pair of jerseys. Just they're a little bit thicker and they give you a little bit more of an edge. But when you're welding tubes or you're welding precision stuff, you need as less bulk and you need as much dexterity as possible. And I'm not a freaking overnight welder, none of that crap. This is what I've been doing for years. I contract piece rate weld. Most of you guys are probably working hourly for like $22 to $25 an hour, and there's nothing wrong with that. But keep doing what you're doing, but try to opt out of that. Look for contract work. It's that hourly crap is overrated, and everybody could be making good money if they would quit working hourly. Quit. If you're mad about your job, you're mad about your hourly rate, you need to get over it because you signed up for that. Anyway, enough of my lecturing. I'm going to be wearing these gloves. I'm going to be wearing a Viking, Lincoln Viking hood, just because that's what I've got handy in the shed. That's what I use at home when I'm building stuff by myself. That auto darken's good to tack with. You also need to learn to weld with a fixed shade lens, like a number 10 gold lens. Those auto darken lenses, a lot of those will blind you when you get in the wrong angle, especially if you're working on like you're inside of a box working on something or something. I just have to put you in a spot to show you. But anyway, you'll block that little piece that catches the light that tells it to turn dark, and then you'll just be looking at bright light. So I don't like it. Or you'll be welding and it'll turn dark. Then you'll move into a spot and then it'll cut the lens off because the light ain't hitting directly on the deal that turns it over. And that Lincoln Viking hood ain't cheap, and it's not good for TIG welding. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, on the next video, maybe I'll show you guys how to coat a tube like this. Way simpler than these other YouTubers have showed you guys how to do this. I promise you there is an easier way, and I will show you. We got a little surprise coming up here. We got this here 4-speed transmission. It's out of the AMC. Oh, you guys are looking at my feet. Anyway, We got 4 gears, forward and reverse. No, 3-speed with a reverse. Pretty sweet, dude. Pretty freaking sweet. I like it a lot. Anyway, let's get on to the welding part of this. We're using the sand race. Let's not get on to the welding. Let's talk about this machine. All of its features. And don't mind this right here. I know it's not OSHA compliant, but it'll be all right. Anyway, this is a confined space TIG welder, stick welder, whatever you want to use it for. You got standard, slope, repeat, spot weld. That's all great stuff. I'll just leave it on standard though. That VRD, you got to take it apart to turn that on. That's that way, like if I hook up the ground and I'm laying on whatever I'm welding, like, it'll shock you, but it ain't that bad. Just get over yourself, you'll be all right. And that's your peak weld. We're not going to get into all this today, but you got your base, your width, your frequency, your AC frequency, your wave balance, and your I think that's for like crater. Nope, that's not for crater cracks. VR. I'll have to look into that. Down slope or wave balance, down slope, and then this crater curve, whatever the curve means. I don't know what it means, but that crater, that's your like your taper off, your end amps. Then you got your post flow. And this welder, you can set your post flow all the way up to 30 seconds. Here's your AC, or your DC, your AC soft, which is your, like, where's a good example on here? You got different wave balances. Some of them are square like this. They go up, they go flat for a ways, and then they drop off. This soft is like more curved like this, so your transition from positive to negative isn't so much. So it's for less penetration. Welding thin aluminum, we'll put it like that. That's the easiest way to explain it. Then you got your lift TIG, your high frequency TIG, and your stick. Then you have this control, where you can hook up your remote, your foot pedal. Right here, we got that up here. Of course, we never use it. It's right there. Not even on aluminum, we don't use that. I'll show you guys one of these days. I mean, we do use it, we just don't really use it. We keep one around in case we want to use it. Let me put it like that. And then this contactor, I can do that, like that. Or, and I'm not going to tell you how I made this. It's probably better if you buy one, because I don't want to be the reason you messed up your machine, because your mileage may vary. But I'm pretty competent. I just look at the blueprints of this machine. It comes in the manual, and you can find out which pins turn on and off this contactor, and you can build you a little switch. Then you see I took a piece of 1/8 TIG wire and I built me a little spring, so that way I can just move it. It starts up my TIG torch. I rock it back the other way or pick up on it, and that wire has a springiness to it. You'll have to replace it every couple of weeks or something. It'll wear out. But anyway, I can just essentially move it like that and it turns it on. Now what that does is if you're inside of something and you're welding and you're not right next to your machine, you're 25 foot away, you don't want to climb out of whatever you're welding on every 25 minutes to, or every couple of minutes to turn your machine back on. And so I can put a extension cord on here, because it's only 2 wires that I need to make this work, and I can take this sucker as long as I want to make it. I can keep hooking extension cords up to it, and I can go as far away from this machine as I want to, as long as you have your main amp set, which I got another solution for that, where you can turn your amps up and down, but you won't know what it's set at. You'll just know, you should be able to know what it's set at by running your machine, or you don't even need to know what your amps are. You need to know if your weld is looking good, then you know that it's set right. You should be able to see if it's wetting in, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, let's get on to the welding of this. You guys are probably tired of listening to me ramble. We're already 9 minutes in and we're just doing a simple half of a tube anyway. So I'm gonna put that like that. You guys are dark. And let's see, I might want to zoom you guys in a little bit. Maybe we can get you guys right up on this. We'll brighten it back up for a minute so I can see. Okay. Yeah. That'll do. Again, that water pump is going to be loud when I plug it in, so you guys, I mean, it may not be loud over the audio, I don't know. It seems like it's loud to me inside of this shed, but whatever. Hood, check. Another thing with the fixed lens, you guys don't have to worry about batteries going out on you. That was one of the biggest deals for me, is I got tired of that crap. Like this one, that battery's toast. But a couple minutes of welding, she'll kick on. Don't do that at home, folks. It's not good for your eyes. We're going to be using a 70S6 wire. You know what? We might run half of it with 70S6 and half of it with -2 wire. Now I put this on this angle just so that way you guys can see it better, just because when I get a gimbal and tripod for my phone or my camera, I'll do it a different way. But anyway, here we go. We are going to run it at about, these are both 165 Memwell tubes. And so we will try about 145 amps, something like that. We got about a 1/4 inch of stick out on our tungsten. We're using a 1/8 tungsten and a number 7 cup with a crappy gas lens. No, it's a CK gas lens. It's just been used in a boiler. Oh, I forgot to put the water on. Okay, what we're going to do, that sucker keeps blinding the crap out of me. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to my truck and go get my other hood because we don't want to go blind. Take them gloves off for a second and zoom you guys back out and brighten you back up. There's the pool looking good. Anyway, get this hood out of my truck. Let's see if we can't get something going here. Yeah. That's another thing. All these guys buying these fancy ass hoods for a bunch of money. Really, you just need a pipe liner. The cheaper the better, really. And I know everybody's like, well, I want a $500 hood for my eyesight. Yeah, that $500 hood's gonna make you lose your eyesight, and it's gonna hurt your bank account, and you're just buying shit to be cool. Some bitch is taped up and it makes more money than you do. You don't need a fancy hood to make money. That's just all there is to it. You don't need nothing fancy to make money. Matter of fact, the more basic it is, the more experience you look like you have. You got a bunch of weird crap and everybody looks at you like, yeah, he just got out of welding school. And that, my friends, is how you weld a saddle-on tube weld. Oh, get underneath there so we can see what we're looking at here. Now, another important thing when you're TIG welding, you need to learn to be uncomfortable. The best way to be comfortable is get uncomfortable, and you need to learn to weld with both hands. All these people, you can't, it's funny when I watch all these YouTube videos and they'll move around a whole entire table just to be able to weld something with their right hand, when the reality of it is that shit's cute on YouTube, but that don't fly in real life. Like there are certain jobs, like if you're welding tubes, I'll demo one for you real quick. If you're welding tubes and you're welding on a header, okay, we're gonna pretend this is a header. We're gonna do horizontal welds here. Okay, and you've got rows. Pretend these are full length tubes. Tube, 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 tube. Okay, and you're welding these. Say you're welding them to here. Okay, you can't go around the backside sometimes, or you can't. Like, what are you gonna do if they're that close together? Every one of these tubes are that close together. How are you gonna weld that with your right hand on the left side? You're not. So you need to get over that stuff and start practicing now. So that way when those jobs, that's part of being a piece welder. If you want to do contract work, anybody can do this. Anybody. I mean, literally, you just have to want to work. 2, you need to learn to weld with both hands. Eventually, you will get as good with your left as you are with your right, but you have to want it. You absolutely have to want to be the best. I mean, you got to want that. If you don't, then you won't. And I'm not trying to rant or tear anybody apart on YouTube, but a lot of that stuff they're showing you guys is wrong. That's wrong, wrong, wrong. They need to be teaching you guys to use both hands. You need to use both hands. That 6G test you got to take to get the job, it's a heck of a lot easier of a test to take if you can use both hands. If you're bound to one hand, you're bound to the right hand or the left hand, and I'm sorry. I know that's miserable to take a test like that. Anyway, this video is long enough. Next time I'll have everything set up better so it won't be so long. We'll just get straight to the welding. But we are going to go more in depth on that Sandrex machine. I just wanted to get a video out and show you guys what I had going on. I got a lot going on right now. I got that mower going on, but it's raining outside. The sun just peeked out. I can still see the water dropping on the pool. I have that welder I need to get running. Yeah, I just got a lot of stuff going on. Next time I'll get it set up before we get the video started. I just got my bottles of gas refilled. Got this baby. So, anyway, peace.